when I'm not listening to every single one of my loser friends tell me how they had finally gotten their life together right before a pandemic hit. I like to answer questions that I get on YouTube, so let's get to it. I'm confused, Sean. C major was 1-3-5, but then you go on to say the major chords are 1-4-5. Did I miss something? Please help to clear up my misconception. So this is 100% the most confusing thing for people first getting into how chords work and how music theory works is the difference between the 1-3-5 and the 1-4-5. And it is totally understandable because we're using the same numbers to talk about totally different things. All right, so I'm doing my best to try to clear this up. C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. There's 7 different notes in any major scale, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I wanted to take one of those notes and make it into a chord, any single one of those 7 notes can become a chord, right? All I do is I start at 1, I take the third one, so a third from there, which is an E, and then the 5th one from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I take the 1, the 3, and the 5. I can always make a major chord by doing that. C, E, and G. All right? Now, like I said, any single one of those 7 notes become a chord when you stack the intervals like that, right? So it just so happens that the 1st degree, the 4th degree, and the 5th degree become major chords, all right? So a scale degree is just what number a note falls in a scale. So the 1st, 4th, and 5th degree of the C major scale, C, D, E, F, and G, become major chords. C, F, G. All right, so in any key, the 1, 4, and 5 become major chords. The way we populate the notes that make up that chord is by taking the 1st, 3rd, and 5th note of each of those individual major scales, right? So, it is kind of a complicated thing talking about the same numbers, having them mean different things. That's why sometimes when you see chords numbered in chord progressions, you'll see them as Roman numerals, like a 1, 4, 5 Roman numeral. Uppercase means 1, 4, 5. But usually scale degrees as far as like if you were to spell a chord, right? Like let's take an extended chord, a C major 7. We could spell that by taking a 1, a 3, a 5, and a 7. That's a chord spelling that gives us the notes that make up a chord as compared to maybe like a Roman numeral that tells us which degree in a scale we're going for, which again is the most important lesson. In fact, the whole point of me making this entire beginner intermediate thing, which is finally launched, I finally put all these things on Patreon because the second most common question I get is like, what order should I watch these videos in? Or, do you have some kind of playlist for these? I don't have a playlist because a lot of times when I'm doing standalone lessons, they're kind of built on maybe knowing some intermediate things. So I went through and I made like an entirely comprehensive class teaching all this stuff from maybe like your first guitar lesson to something that'll have you ready to be able to understand absolutely any one of my videos. And a lot of the stuff like the 1-3-5, 1-4-5 has like animations and like charts to go along with that. So I ended up hosting it through Patreon. I'm also making it available as Udemy class if anybody wants to see it that way. But again, the Patreon thing is only $12 a month, so take it. If you can learn everything there, then just quit it, and then you only pay $12. You know what I mean? But again, I think it's a super comprehensive thing that is essentially like right now probably like your first 28 guitar lessons worth of material. Plus, I'm starting to teach all of the songs on my set list as far as like just taking popular songs, making acoustic arrangements of them, and then just really the stuff that I play live that gets the best reaction. So again, if you're trying to like maybe really put a lot of work into, post-pandemic, getting out there and playing, it's just great to have, a solid set list that I can tell you from experience works and that people relate to. So again, all that stuff is over in the link below. $12 a month, do it for 1 month, whatever, or just sign up, forget about it, and pay me in perpetuity because that would be awesome. Wolf Boy crushes it. Best lesson I've seen in years. Watch out, Marty Music. This guy is honestly cool and doesn't need a fedora. Wolf Boy? I guess I kind of see it. Thank you. What's the best experience you've had because of doing music as a career? Been a lot of good ones. I gotta say, I think the one that made me feel the best was becoming a Fender artist. Like, I just remember ever since I got my first Mexican Strat, I was such a huge Fender fanboy. And for me to become a Fender artist and for them to send me this Ultra Strat was just an incredible experience and really just kind of validated like a lot of stuff going on. So that's probably my absolute best experience. Number 2, maybe just being graced with the presence of the friendship of samurai guitarist. But it's close. I'll have to go with being a Fender artist. Peanut butter or chocolate? That's an easy one. Peanut butter. I think hopefully if this subscription website thing goes really well, then maybe I can actually up peanut butter to almond butter. That's really all I ask for as far as being financially secure, being able to comfortably afford different types of nut butters. So that's, a goal of mine. Wow, amazing art in studio. I came for the guitar vids and stayed for the lipstick art. So this is actually a video I posted on Monday where myself, Kindred, and Katie got to perform at my friend Lexi's lipstick art studio, where she just makes this art just by putting different shades of lipstick on and kissing the canvas, and it's absolutely ridiculous. I would highly recommend checking out her Instagram because there are so many cool portraits out there, and a lot of them are music portraits. I think my favorite one was the one that she did of David Bowie, and that's fantastic. So definitely show her some love, and we're probably going to be doing some more actual shows there, so stay tuned. This guy must play with himself a lot. These would piss off a real musician if you tried this stuff while playing with them. Definitely could never hack it in a Bluegrass Jam. I've never had a more sobering moment than realizing I couldn't hack it in a Bluegrass Jam. The funny thing is, if in the few and far between moments where I find myself in a jam I'm not prepared for, my go-to move is always just playing the solo from Stairway to Heaven. I just play Stairway to Heaven, the solo in its entirety, in whatever key the people are in. So I guess in Bluegrass Jam, I guess that would be E. I would probably just play it in E minor. So maybe I could hack it in a Bluegrass Jam. Time will tell. What's your favorite dinosaur? Finally, the hard-hitting questions. As I've matured, my answer has changed on this over the years. I think early on in my childhood, I was definitely more into the carnivores, the carnivorous dinosaurs. Kind of basic. Really was a big fan of the T-Rex. Jurassic Park came out, changed my life. I had a Velociraptor phase. Maybe someday I'll get back to it. But I think as I get older, I start to appreciate the calm majesty of the Stegosaurus. I was never a huge fan of Stegosaurus growing up, but now I just kind of seeing it from a different lens, a different purview, if you will, has really made me appreciate the gentle beast that it was and continues to be in my heart. I signed up for your Patreon. Now one poor OnlyFans girl is going to have to get cut from the squad. So I actually went live the other night and kind of did the soft open for Patreon to get a couple of the fantastic super subs like Trent to sign up. And, under normal circumstances, I would feel bad for the OnlyFans girl that got cut from the squad. But I feel like OnlyFans girls are thriving right now. So really, we need to kind of shift our support to make it a level playing field. Is D major 9 the same as A major 6? This is a really great question, and I think on guitar specifically, this stuff is kind of open to interpretation. All right, so let's talk about, real quick, major 6 chords versus major 9 chords. Now, right off the bat, a major 9 chord is technically going to have more notes because you need a 1, a 3, a 5, a 7, and a 9. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 is how we would spell that, right? Because we already talked about this earlier in the video, so you know what I'm talking about. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, that's 5 notes. Whereas A major 6, 1, 3, 5, 6. That's only 4 notes. So technically, they are different. Now, a D major add 9 would be kind of a different ballpark. Like if we just go through the names of the notes, right? I'll try to make this quick. D major 9, D, F sharp, A, C sharp, E, A major 6, A, C sharp, E, F sharp. Okay, so you'll notice that they have the same notes, a lot of them. And that's why on guitar, where your bass note is makes a huge difference. So there's really like a cool kind of trick to go from D major 9 to A major 6. So this is like a really cool thing that kind of sounds jazzy-ish maybe. So the D major 9 voicing that I would normally use on a guitar looks like this. My middle finger is on the D on the A string, the 5th fret on the A string. My pointer finger has its major 3rd on the 4th fret of the D string. My pinky has the major 7 on the G string 6th fret. And my ring finger has an E, which is that add 9, major 9 part, okay? So, just by these notes, I have a 1, a major 3rd, a major 7, and a 9. So I'm implying the fifth. A lot of this stuff gets talked about actually in the Patreon class, right? So all I have to do is change my root note just by lowering a string or opening up that string. And that becomes like an A major 6. So D major 9. I like kind of going from the A string to the E string because then it becomes movable. To kind of see that relationship between those. Maybe I go from E to B. Really just kind of like a fun little thing to play that sounds jazzy, sounds like maybe you know what you're doing, but is super easy to play, right? So, again, learning chord theory I think is really important, but also it's important to remember that on a guitar, we only have 6 strings, most of us. So maximum you can play 6 different notes. It's kind of difficult to play 6 different notes on a guitar at the same time. So a lot of it ends up being like implying the fifth, and then these chords are open to interpretation. The way I look at it most of the time is what's my lowest note, what's my bass note. I almost always recognize that as the root note, and that's why I think one of the easiest ways to do it is just to learn different chord voicings off of a root note, right? Like let's say I have this A major 7, A dominant 7, A minor 7, A minor 11, A minor 6, A 13, stuff like that. Cycling through chord voicings I think is super important on guitar, and that's something that I like to teach a lot, and it's something maybe you should be interested in over on the Patreon class. Okay, young Matthew McConaughey on guitar, you do your thing, sweetie. I can't tell you how much I love reading these comments late at night, even if it's written by a guy whose name is probably Frank. I still appreciate it, so keep them coming. So again, I was going live the other night and I was playing the 12 string and I kind of did a version of the Decemberist Engine Driver, which I love that song. That 12 string totally reminded me of it. Haven't heard it in a while. So I'm going to make that listening homework because I was playing it and there was, 100 some people online and I was doing a name that tune thing. Nobody could tell me what it was. So that just means to me that y'all need to check out the Decemberist Engine Driver, even if I've probably mentioned it before on this channel, because it's a great song. So anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, the website, and then, yeah, please check out the Patreon because I'm always going to be adding to it. Right now, there's like maybe 15 songs on the set list. I'm definitely going to have that doubled by next week. And again, there's like a huge plethora of lessons that are ordered and titled in a way that maybe you can skip around if you want to, but really it's meant to be taken in like a linear approach. So I'm also going to be taking suggestions on maybe requests of different songs you guys want arrangements for, or different things that you just want explained in better detail, because I think going into like long form deep dive stuff is way better on something aside from YouTube, where it's all kind of about like, thumbnails and click-through rates and whatever. So again, let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks a lot.